Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Comfort Ahmodu. The headlines. President Bola Tinubu to attend summits in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in another drive for foreign direct investment into Nigeria. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency seizes 14.4 million pills of opioids in Lagos raids, arrests 3 blind members of drug syndicate. An Inspector General Police orders distribution of new vehicles and logistics for security management. Good to have you join us. President Bola Tinubu will embark on another international drive to attract more foreign direct investment into Nigeria as he's scheduled to depart for Saudi Arabia this week. The president is to attend the Saudi Africa and Arab Africa summits, respectively, in Riyadh. Presidential advisor on media and publicity Ajurin Gilali, who briefed State House correspondents on the forthcoming trip, said President Tinubu is attending the Saudi Africa summit on the 10th of November, where issues of counter-terrorism, environment, agriculture, and many other areas of mutual concern will be discussed towards accelerating the trade volume between Saudi Arabia and Africa. He will also participate in the Arab Africa summit and the following day.
The ECOWAS Authority of Heads of Government will be taking part in the summit, ensuring that he is at the forefront of advocating for really a deepening partnership of the two regions, that is the League of Arab Nations as well as the African Union, with respect to how we can integrate in terms of our infrastructure, how we can facilitate the establishment of a new high-speed train network that would tie Arab nations from the Middle East to Northern Africa to the rest of the African continent. Certainly, His Excellency, Mr. President, is passionate about any area in which we can really leverage on the massive population and market that not just Africa presents, but that Nigeria itself presents.
The presidential spokesman also speaks on the potential personnel gains for Nigeria.
The outcomes of this summit will lead to very tangible results with respect to an increase in trade between not just the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but all Arab nations, and especially the leading economies in Africa, of which Nigeria is now #1. So we believe there's a lot to be gained from these two summits. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to do everything he can to reinvigorate the Nigerian economy through the instrumentation of his participation, his leading participation in these two important summits.
Ahead of the November governorship election, the Inspector General Police Kayode Egbetokun has ordered the distribution of additional 220 operational vehicles, including water cannons, armored personnel carriers, helmets, bulletproof vests and tear gas canister to 3 affected states to intensify security arrangements for the elections. A statement by the force notes that the IGP had earlier organized trainings for the police officers who are involved in the election security management for the November 11th governorship elections and sought the approval of the federal government for the payment of the allowances and all the necessary support to boost the morale of the officers during the operations. Now, the IGP therefore urges all stakeholders in the 3 states to embrace peace, uphold the sanctity of the rule of law, and be law-abiding in their endeavors before, during, and after the elections, as the police and other security agencies have been placed on alert to avert any unruly acts capable of disrupting the elections in any of the states. In other news, the air and land components of Operation Hade in the northwest and Operation Hade in northeast Nigeria, together with other security agencies, have concluded or conducted operations in Kamara local government area of Katsina State, targeting the hideout of notorious terrorist kingpin Babaru, implicated in numerous acts of terrorism and banditry across Kamara and adjacent local government areas in Katsina State. And the terrorist was involved in the massacre of more than 100 residents of Gidan Gari and Yermai Yadia villages in Bakuri local government on February 2nd, 2023. The airstrikes destroyed Babaru's hideout and eliminated several terrorists through, although there was no confirmation if Babaru was among those neutralized. Airstrikes were also carried out at the enclave of terrorist kingpin known as Meisola in Maru local government area of Zamfara State, destroying his hideout. There's also no confirmation if Meisola was among the terrorists eliminated. Precision airstrikes by the air components of Operation Hade also led to the elimination of several terrorists within Mandara Mountains in Goza local government area of Borno State. Now, no less than 14.4 million pills of tramadol and bottles of codeine syrup worth over 13 million naira in street value have been recovered by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NTAi, in 3 major busts of drug cartels operating in Amuwo, Odofin, Idumota, and Sako, shared of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. 3 intelligence-led operations began with the raid of House 810, Honorable Wahua Avenue, Divine Estate, AGO Palace, area of Amuwo, Odofin on Sunday, 29th October, where 490,000 pills of tramadol and 81,519 bottles of codeine syrup were recovered. In a similar operation, on Tuesday, 31st October, NDLA operatives swooped on a secret warehouse operated by a billionaire Idumota trader, Nwoha Anayo, located at Onitsiri Aguda area of Surulere, where 12,700,000 pills of tramadol were equally recovered. Also, 6 members of a syndicate using their official cover to facilitate the smuggling of illicit drugs through the Skyway Aviation Handling Company in Sako warehouse at the Lagos airport into the country have been arrested, and 1,210,000 pills of tramadol seized from them in a painstaking operation that lasted for weeks. Now, 6 suspects already in NDLA custody include Oladele Sonia Olu, Lawal Itinu, Temitokwe, Sanamo, Ala Daniel, Ude Felix Monde, Musa Mutalib, and Unege Evans Isibo, while 3 other suspects, Serki Mubarak Salami, Abdullahi Aliyu, aka Aboki, and Monde Anwal, are now on the run and wanted by the NTAi. Musa Dadis Kamara, who was on Saturday taken from the main prison in Guinea's capital by the heavily armed commando, has been recaptured and returned to prison. A lawyer for the former dictator said Musa Dadis Kamara had been kidnapped. The attorney, Jacomi Haba, explained that his client is back at the central jail where he's been questioned. A statement by the prosecutor, Yamusa Conti, said he has ordered authorities to investigate charges of escaping jail and weapons possession against Kamara and 3 other individuals. Among the others who escaped were Claude PV and Blaise Gumo, who along with Kamara had been detained on charges in connection with 2009 stadium massacre that left 197 people dead. The build-up to the 2024 general elections in Ghana had continued to generate intrigues as primary elections are held across the political terrain. Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
Ghana's ruling party held its primary election and the outgoing vice president emerged winner. The outgoing vice president of the Republic of Ghana, Ahmodu, emerged winner of the primary election held by ruling party New Patriotic Party (NPP).
61.47%. So, Dr. Ahmodu is duly elected as the flag bearer going to 2024.
Ahmodu will fly the party's flag in the 2024 presidential elections in Ghana.
I therefore stand here with profound gratitude and humility, having received the greatest honor of my life. The victory is not mine, but ours.
His main opponent, Kennedy Agapong, is also confident of victory, looking to tap into his own grassroots party backing. His spokesman said they are expecting at least 70% of the votes. The West African country is undergoing its worst economic downturn in years, and the crisis is set to dominate the election campaign ahead of the December 2024 ballot to succeed President Nana Akufo-Addo. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Also, Kolo Mohammed reports that scientists and weather specialists have relentlessly issued early warnings to avert devastation from global warming as it alters the climate ecosystem of the world. And the latest of such devastation is Storm Ciarán, which hit Europe, killing 15 persons.
The latest of such devastation is Storm Ciarán, which hit Europe, killing 15 persons. Strong winds and heavy rainfall hit Western Europe, lashing mainly the Galician town of Musa in the northeast coast of Spain, as Storm Ciarán continues to make its way across Western Europe. Weather and climate agencies around the world have warned that the world will experience extreme weather events because of the global warming caused by greenhouse gases.
It's time to wake up and step up. It's time to rebuild trust based on climate justice. It's time to accelerate the just transition to a green economy. Limiting the rise in global temperature to 1.5 degrees Celsius is still possible. We must consider this as a moment of hope. But it will require carbon emissions to be cut by 45% by 2030. To help get us there, I have proposed the Climate Solidarity Pact, in which all big emitters would make extra efforts to cut emissions.
Predictions indicate that the rains in 2023 will cause heavy flooding across the globe, and this is evident across many countries so far of the world. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
In the United Nations, the UN Agency on Migration is entertaining fresh concerns over the conditions of travel, which it has described as worrisome. Kolo Mohammed reports again.
Chief of the United Nations Migration Agency, Amy Pope, is worried about the number of deaths from boat travels and how it is becoming normalized by migrants. She says illegal migration is of great concern to countries of destination. The United Nations Migration Chief has vowed to work meaningfully with various governments to provide options for economic migration to help address the crisis. Her concern is coming at a time of increased forced displacement around the world and high political tensions over irregular migration. Reports say the Mediterranean is considered the most dangerous route and most frequently used by irregular migration rings who ferry migrants in dangerous sinking dinghies and route the long stretch of the Mediterranean where 22,000 people have died or gone missing since 2014. Amy Pope said if deaths on the Mediterranean must be stopped, the issue of illegal travel by migrants must be approached more comprehensively. She says a partnership with the private companies is considered to better manage migration.
We work together with governments. We can start to build out ways to find opportunities for people who are on the move rather than just treating the issue as a problem to be solved. Now, that's not easy work. There's a lot of work to be done. It requires engagement of our member states, but it also requires engagement of partners from different sectors of society.
European Union leaders have recently held a series of meetings considering the best option in the dealings with irregular migration. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
The Nigerian aquaculture potential is huge and can contribute significantly to the nation's food security drive and export initiative. This is the reason the ECOWAS Food Security Committee is partnering the Nigerian Agriculture Research Institute to expand the scope of the sector and create jobs for millions of interested Nigerian youths. And a training program designed to imbibe modern fishery techniques and feed production in Abuja. The participants drawn from across the country were exposed to what to do to make profit from fishery and feed production while contributing to the nation's self-sufficiency in food production and fishery needs.
One of the centers of specialization for training. Youths there are a lot of youths, high level of youths in Nigeria, and this training will serve as a means of putting skills in their hands, especially in the field of aquaculture, so that they will be employable, so that they can be they'll be entrepreneurs, and they eventually help in the food security as the country is intending to.
I have to thank ECOWAS and Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria for organizing this training for youth in aquaculture. I've learned a lot. One, the training has been categorized into three. One, fish feed formulation and production, which involve conventional and non-conventional feed of fish. Two, has to do with principles, particularly on fingerlings production.
Supported with inputs to start their small and medium-scale fishery and feed production businesses upon completion of their training. We're live in Abuja. More reports ahead. Stay tuned.
Reform may be painful, but it is what greatness and the future require. We now carry the cost of reaching a future Nigeria where the abundance and fruit of the nation are fairly shared among all, not hoarded by a select and greedy few. A Nigeria where hunger, poverty, and hardship are pushed into the shadows and ever-fading past.
Ahead of COP28, the Global Initiative for Food Security and Ecosystem Preservation has held the Power Up Day of Action in Abuja to draw attention to the increasing impact of environmental hazard on the agrarian communities in the country. Kelvin Ehunwai reports that this year's conversation centered around the Ogoni issue as stakeholders attempt to sustain pressure on government to hasten its cleanup program in the area, which will go a long way to restoring the ecosystem of Ogoni land where agriculture and other community life can strive.
After the UNEP report and the setting up of HIPREP, a little bit of attention was taken away from Ogoni. But a recent visit that I personally made to Ogoni land saw that the issues are still there. We are saying that as we head to COP28, there is the need to begin the phase out of fossil fuels. It is not doing us any good. We know the country depends so much on fossil fuels for our revenue, but you can see at the detriment of who? The people and the environment. We have alternatives, so we should look at alternatives. And as we begin to transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy, international standards must be maintained.
Reached at this forum are expected to form part of the documents to be presented by relevant groups and policymakers at the forthcoming COP28 in Dubai. In Ogun State, succor has come to victims of the flood-ravaged Isheri community in Ifo, local government area of Ogun State, as the federal government commences distribution of relief materials to them. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, who performed the symbolic flag-off ceremony, reiterates President Bola Tinubu's led administration's determination to ameliorate the plight of citizens. Details with Hakim Jumo.
The recent flood that ravaged the Isheri community in Ifo local government area of Ogun State rendered many homeless, with 4 lives lost.
We want it to go on record that in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's time, the flooding that has been threatening us yearly is put to an end.
To cushion the effect of the natural disaster on the people, the federal government commenced distribution of relief materials to the affected residents. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, assures that the federal government will work out solution to the perennial flooding in Isheri community.
What we want to quickly support them to do is to provide livelihood for them. Those who lost their businesses as a result of the flood. Part of these solutions, of course, would include buffer dams, rechanneling of this water, and creating of altogether new channels that can help prevent this kind of flooding. We've equally advised the locals on ways to prevent flooding in future. One of them is to keep our drains clean and empty.
The minister was also at the Ogun State Government House, where Governor Dapo Abiodun commended the federal government for the various intervention programs in the state.
Again, I want to thank you for mentioning to us the other programs. I'm aware that we have a program that is meant for our poor, our elderly, our vulnerable.
The delegation also embarked on facility tour of Kenta at the Rek Kampala markets at Itoku and Ashiro in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. In Abeokuta, Akim Jimo, NTA News.
Food is a necessity for the sustenance of life, and where one lacks, he becomes vulnerable. Now it's a breath of relief as thousands of widows and other less privileged persons benefited from food items as palliative under the Abdul Samad Rabiu Foundation, supported I Care Women and Youths Foundation. Haruna Mohammed was there and reports that the gesture is in line with President Tinubu's call on well-to-do individuals to contribute to nation building.
From small to the big picture, they are considered widows and less privileged persons in the society, up for the distribution of food items and palliatives to ameliorate their food sufficiency under the Abdul Samad Rabiu Foundation, supported by I Care Women and Youth Foundation.
Time around, the food items are being taken into the communities and handed to the beneficiaries hand to hand.
Little wonder how far one can go to provide succor. From Kaduna, Kano, Katsina and Sokoto, they distribute the food items to the less privileged. 75-year-old Lami Adamu, Shafiu Sani, Bello Umar and Nazifi are fiscally challenged among beneficiaries of the palliative.
Iyayena na nan aikin da nake su nake taimaka mu ka ta samun wannan zan ƙara samun sauki.
Ni dai na gode miki. Na gode.
What he has done to us, I know God will reward it to him in 100-fold in Jesus' name.
Rayuna sun dade. Ina da yara kuma kankana na waɗansu ne musu aure waɗansu ba.
If we can have some other philanthropists that can do this way, I think it will go a long way, sincerely. And this is not just about politics. They are doing it freely to bless humanity.
According to Awal Shuaibu, the coordinator of the program, the gesture is geared towards alleviating the hardship being faced by citizens.
Please, they should imbibe this habit, feeding the poor. It will go a long way in reducing the suffering of the people, the masses in Kaduna State. Not even Kaduna State, in Nigeria at large. There are a lot of people that can do more than this.
It was jubilation galore as they expressed their unflinching gratitude to Abdulsamad Rabiu Foundation.
Now, Akwa Ibomites have never had it this good. Never had it this good, because these are the words of stakeholders from Akwa Ibom as they express gratitude to President Bola Tinubu and Nigerians for the opportunity of having their own Senator Godswill Akpabio occupying a seat of the President of the Senate. And the leader of the Forum of APC candidates in the 2023 elections, who is also the special advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Eseme Yibo, extends the gratitude of Akwa Ibom State for other presidential appointments. They include a cabinet member, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, and recently the appointment of Etekamba Umorin as INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, making clarification on the appointment of Umorin, which has generated reactions from some quarters. Yebo dismissed allegations that Umorin is a member of the APC.
He served in Akwa Ibom State Executive as a permanent secretary, a career civil servant as a permanent secretary. So there's a difference between a political party appointment and a government appointment. Position of the law, whoever alleges must prove. So if they are saying that he's a member of a political party, they should go beyond the garment, which is decorative, and bring out either the membership card, membership register, or anything to show that he has been paying his dues, that he's a member of the political party. So the preponderance of proof have now shifted to those who are alleging. They should be able to prove with those facts.
And that's the news. Many thanks for watching. I'm Comfort Ahmodu.